world. So then, how to make the future story with sci-fi thinking and manga creation? So there are tips for story making in the 4 steps. First, subject and theme. So start to make a subject and theme of a story. Start thinking some of keywords. For example, so let's take the poster as a keyword. In the future, what do we carry? How do we carry? And how do we receive it? So, anyone has idea? In the future postal service. Okay, let's say in 10 years. By postal service, what do we carry?
Yeah, everybody. In 10 years.
In 10 years.
Mm.
Envelopes, parcels, or others?
Any idea?
Or how do we carry?
Mm.
And how do we receive?
Mm. Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah, easy, much easy vision is
Yeah.
use what なんだっけあれ。
maybe so you can imagine easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Ro-
do letters
robot.
and postcards exist in the future? Yes or no? And how they are delivered? Human deliverers? Drones? Robots?
Robots, yeah.
Maybe it is not always drones which carry the things. Sometimes human deliverers will carry and deliver in the special situation like Christmas, birthday, or anniversary.
Mm.
Or sometimes robots, cute robot. So maybe you can see in the restaurant, and so the cat-like robot and so on. Or will mail fly by itself.
Mm.
So without any delivery. So just mail or parcels. I will come to you autonomously. And in the future, what kind of problems could occur in the future postal service? So miss delivery, or someone takes during carrying. And imagining such kind of troubles, I will read to make the story. And anyway, there are postal service itself in the future. So we can doubt the condition itself. The second way to set the theme and topic is randomly combine 2 keywords of your interest. For example, global warming and telecommunication, fair trade and space exploration, earthquake and gender. So by combining 2 keywords, so you may imagine the situation, what happens in the future. Or the second way is thinking from problem, actual problem or needs. So this is like design thinking. For example, I want to do something about the shuttered shopping street. So desolate shopping street, like many suburban cities, especially in front of station, like Tsuchiura station. So what is the state, the condition, or the problem solved? What technology and what system would solve the problem? So not only in the superimposing the current the condition, but also, so let's think about leapfrogging solutions. For example, so make the shuttered shopping street to float and go around in the sky to so develop the new the shopping street and so on. And how will the people be involved in the solution, and what problems could arise after solution? Yeah, for example, so when the shopping street floats and go around in the sky, what happens? So something like some accident. So with other floating shopping street, or some conflicts. And it will lead also the story, the future story. So how the individual story happens and how future is changing. And for the setting, so consider both the future and an extension of the current society, and one as a divergence from the leapfrogged situation in the current one. So consider, so this is the history of cars. So by the external engine, external, and using like a steam engine to gas engine and so on. And then now currently so hybrid electric vehicle or so battery electric vehicle. And so we can superimpose the future vehicle along with this line, or we can consider the state as a leap forward from the previous extensions of history, like flying car. Or so we can also imagine where so cars no more exist. Maybe so sometimes the people use some very compact, so something like so magic sweeps, so magic ones to move. Another example of, so this is a history of telephones, and from fixed and shared phones to personalized, and to a mobile phone and smartphone. And so we can imagine the future phone in the extension of the history. And also, so we can imagine the future so communication for tools in completely different from current status. Or in the future, some devices will be embedded in your brain. But to make the future outlook, so please keep in mind to maintain a consistent world outlook. So the consistency of outlook gives a reality of the future story or future world. For example, so you may know the manga of One Punch Man. The protagonist has the only power to defeat enemies, even though so they are very strong. So such kind of extreme or some inconsistent the world outlook make may make some indiarity. For example, or another example is the so magics do everything without any constraint. In the world, so we cannot have a trouble or it is not realistic. So like Pokemon world, so please make a concrete and a consistent world outlook. So by creating the creation of the construction, visual object and things with reality is very important. So imagine how they are used and how they could have been developed. So like the history of car. And also user interface. So designing a user interface is very important point. So to set such kind of devices with complete visual, so design thinking will help you. And for the setting characters, so it is one of the most difficult point. Of course, so you can set a lot of characters, but it may make the story very complicated. So start from set the 4 main characters. The first is a protagonist. So protagonist is a focal point of the story, driving it forward with a powerful object. So protagonist has some objective to solve, to achieve. And then, so he or she will have effort to do it. And the second is body. So body is working with the protagonist, complementing the protagonist's behavior and attractiveness. So in many cases, so body has quite different character or inner self than to protagonist. So by the difference of characters and features, the story will be interesting. The third one is antagonist. So antagonist stands in the way of protagonist to prevent her or him from achieving the goal. So a stronger antagonist will make the story very interesting. So because protagonist has challenge and to overcome to defeat antagonist. And fourth, the character is supporter. Supporter helps the protagonist after confronted and defeated by antagonist, and helping restart the story for the protagonist. So in many stories, so protagonist is once or twice or many times defeated by antagonist. And then, so they have trouble. And in that case, supporter will help a protagonist. So to solve the problem and the challenges. And then again, the protagonist will challenge to antagonist. So, for example, in the Star Wars story, so protagonist is Luke Skywalker, and buddy is Han Solo. So who helps him And so they have very, very so different characters. An antagonist is a Galactic Empire. Darth Vader or Emperor Palpatine. And supporter is Obi-Wan Kenobi or Yoda. So these four main character is a basic elements of the story. And also, so you can add some characters around them, like Princess Leia or C-3PO or R2D2 and so on. And to set the characters, the features. So think about winners and losers in the future story. In the case of Star Wars, so winners is antagonist, and loser is the protagonist. And then, the protagonist tries to upset the situation. And as well, also age, gender, ability, social status, personality, concerns, interest. Especially, it's very important to set the character's strengths and weakness. So only power characters will make story very stable, so not dynamic. So due to some constraint, the character will try to overcome, and then the story moves. Of course, to set a visual, so you have to consider appearance, costumes, way of speaking, habits, hobbies, taste, and preference. And for the story, so the three act structure is very helpful to make story. The three act structure consists of Act 1, setup, a description of the setting of the story. Act 2, confrontation, incident or trouble stand in front of the characters. So they try to solve. Some conflict between protagonist and antagonist. And Act 3, resolution. The confrontation between the characters, the problem reaches climax. So many times the protagonist was defeated by antagonist. And then, so protagonist, so by the help of supporter, so protagonist so grows. And then, so final fight with antagonist or final trial to the some challenges. So this is a climax. And finally, it's resolved. In the case of a tragedy, finally, the protagonist is defeated. So there are many variations of the resolution. So to explain the three-act structure, so let's set the Doraemon. So you may know Doraemon. So in the Act 1, and the one way they're going back to the Nobita, to his home. So this is the setup, the explanation of the situation. And in the second act, confrontations. So on the way, he meets Giant, and so his most precious possession are like some dolls, figures, and so on. It's taken from Giant. So Nobita has a problem. And then the resolution. So Doraemon, so Doraemon has a some position of body and supporter. So Doraemon lends him some gadget. And so using this gadget, so Nobita get it back from Giant. But the usual Doraemon story will not end at that point. And then, something like after the second stage of Act 2. So Nobita tries to mischief using this gadget. And Act 3 dash, the second stage of Act 3. Finally, so Nobita failed. So this is the basic structure of Doraemon. So based on the three act structure. And another way of so making story is so-called motanake. So motanake means the takes so represents the four elements of elements of the story. そう、目的、対立、悩み、決断。So this so Motarake structure give the story to empathetic, so more empathetic. As so objectives, so 目的 phase. So the story explains what the protagonist intends to achieve. So the protagonist objective. At the phase of 対立 conflict, so external and internal obstacles and confrontations will prevent the achievement of objective. So in many cases, so the protagonist fails or is defeated. And the third element, third stage, 悩み stage, so worry stage. So the protagonist so struggles to cope with obstacles. So sometimes with the help of body and or supporter. And sometimes so the protagonist so has is about to give up his or her objective. And final, so decision, so 決断 phase. So the protagonist overcomes doubt. So in some time, so he or she was about to give up, but then so he or she decided again to achieve the objective and coming up with the answer and putting into action. So in these four elements, so compared to a three-act structure, so objectives phase corresponds to Act 1 and Act 2, and conflict corresponds to Act 2, and worry phase corresponds to Act 2 and 3, and decision to Act 3. And so Motarake structure will add the story, the change or some internal conflict. So of the mentality was or their will, the will of protagonist. So that make the story very dynamic. Okay, so we have still many time. Okay, so using this method, so let's think about communication tools in the future. So I have already distributed the worksheet to set. Maybe so you have downloaded, so you have in your hand. So this worksheet consists of some parts. The first, the topic is a future communication and the story with the future communication. The first step to describe the current status. So when, with whom, and what do you communicate by phone, messenger apps, social networking site, and so on. So consider the different cases as possible. So by itemizing the current status. So next, you will imagine and imagine the future. The second step, what are the things and messages that you wish could communicate, but can't with current technology? For example, in the as I showed in the video, so sharing the taste is not realized currently. So you can list up a lot of them. And so this is the contents of communication. And who do you want to communicate with, but can't with the current technology? So you can list a lot of possible examples. So for example, so it is very difficult to communicate with a pet or someone. So please itemize a lot of examples. The third, so to solve the challenges. So imagine the future tools or applications for communicating what you want to share with the people you want to communicate with. For example, so you can imagine the tool to communicate with your pet. So write down what they actually look like, what functions and features they have. So in the manga story, so we have to set the visuals and practical features and practical usages, how to use user interface. If so, you can. I recommend you to draw some image, and also think about when and to whom you would like to communicate using these tools and applications. So when do you communicate using this device? And for the create a story, which happens using the future communication tool application in your real life. So in this story, the protagonist is you yourself. And for the act, so by using 3-act structure, the act one setup, you are trying to tell someone something using this tool application. So who is a recipient? What is a person like to you? Your parents, your friends, your teacher, or someone else in the past or in the future. And what do you want to tell them? And what is the situation to communicate? So, for example, anniversary, birthday, Christmas, or funeral, or something. And why do you want, so do you need to tell them that or communicate them? And Act 2. So you try to communicate. So something with someone, but something went wrong, but it didn't come across the way you intended. So what happened? So imagine what happened, what progress occurred, what happened as a result. How did the program affect your relationship with the recipient? So through this failure, you may have some trouble or conflict with your friend or your family or your pet. So think a story using your imagination, even the leapfrogged situation. And finally, Act 3, so resolution. You try to solve the problem, but it does not work. So what did you do? So it's a climax, the final fight. And after the final fight, what happened as a result? So this is the end of the story. So please have the work. 大庭先生、ブレイクアウトルームってできますか？
できると思いますが、どうするんだ、これ。
もし可能であれば、グループワークでディスカッションしてもらいたいんですが、
おー、ちょっと待っ
ちょっと
てください。
難しいかな。
これどうやればいいんだ？ブレイクアウトルーム。
難しかったらですね、いいです。ディスカッション、グループディスカッションじゃなくても、ちょっと時間を上げて、
そうですね、すいません。それを準備しておりませんでした。
Okay, so I'll give you some time and
ブレイクアウトセッションイネーブルにしてできますよ。作ります？
できますか？
ナンバーブレイクアウトセッションズだけど、これいいのかな、こっちで。何個作ります？
大体3、4人のグループで作っていただければいいんですが。
ちょっとまた、そうすると強制的にみんなを。
強制的になんかランダムに振り分けるとかで。
ちょっと待って。いや、これややこしくないからごめんなさい。はい、次回から。
Okay, so I'll
できる
give
ことは
you
分かり
some
ました。
time. Yeah, some time. And so after that, I'll ask you your idea, especially in the
できるわ。
in the third point, the future tools and application to communicate. What do you like to do, but you cannot do in the current technology? OK。これは今日は何時まででしたっけ？
今日は、1時です、日本時間の。あと30分。
あと30分で。
そしたらブレイクアウトルーム、ランダムに触れられそうなんで、行きますか？
ちょっと時間がないから、
やめますね。はい、わかりました。じゃあなしです。
OK, so I'll give you そうだな、10 minutes. 10 minutes. So, so please consider the future tools and application for communicating. For communication. And then after 10 minutes, I'll ask you to share your idea. Okay, so let's think, and so you can feel the work seed. Okay, so we will resume in 10 minutes. So actually, 12:40 in Japanese time. Are you okay?
Okay. Be back in 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
So let's think, and so I expect your interesting idea.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so now it's time, 10 minutes. Please tell us, please share with us what you'd like to communicate, the contents of communication, so messages, and the tastes, feelings, and so on, and with whom. So your friends, your pets, or someone in the past or something. And how to communicate. So the tools and applications to communicate. Okay, so anyone volunteer? So anyone volunteers?
Can
to
I try?
Start. Yes, please.
Okay, so I was thinking about like to have a chip that will be sticky, so we can put it here, and this will help in communicating by transferring thoughts without
Mhm,
speaking or talking.
mhm,
So the features for this chip will be transferring the thoughts with high speeds, maybe like within nanoseconds,
mhm,
and even transfer the thoughts with different languages. So we will overcome the language barriers. Also, we can our this chip will transfer or can be easily travel the signals maybe underwater, as we have problems to for the signal transfer underwater due to a lot of problems. So we can communicate with maybe those scientists, explorer who can go underwater, so we can have like transfer our thoughts and sending message and receiving message as well. Also, we can use this in urgent situations that we cannot be easily like have a call or something like that, and maybe for extraordinary places like we are on the earth and we need to communicate with someone in space, so we can use this chip at this time, and maybe for like a luxury life, or maybe someone will go to like a different country and he needs to communicate at the first time, so we can use those things to like to so
Yeah, thank you very much. It's very interesting. Yeah, so especially it will be helpful for the people who have a difficulty to talk. Yes.
yeah, yes, this is as well, yeah, right, yeah, right.
Mm. But on the other hand, so we need to make some trouble. Because um, so it will transmit your real thought. So yeah, your real thought. So in the verbal communication, so you may consider the situation to hide your real thought, but in this device. So your real thought will be communicated. And so that will make some trouble, or sometimes will make some interesting stories. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much. How about embedding these devices into your pet?
Yeah, so we
So,
can communicate with our pets. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, and also it is also useful for making some field work. So by embedding some animals to invest, so you are, for example, livestock, or animals. And even if it is worked on embedding plants, vegetables and trees. So it is literally very, very interesting.
Yeah,
So
right.
you can communicate with plants. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, thank you. Anyone? Any other one?
Thank you.
Wonder,
Can I speak?
Yes.
Yes. I think we can use brain computer interface technology to communicate in the future, and we can transmit our thoughts and feelings just using our brain waves without having to type or to speak as we do now. I think we can invent a headset that we can wear on our head, and this headset can grasp our brain waves. Actually, I have used this kind of headset in my work, and this headset is obtained from the company that called Strong Brain Technology, and this headset can detect the children's attention level and also their mood addition, and then we used these detections to do the concerning to the students based on their own situation. So in my imagination, maybe in the future, this kind of headset can be improved, and we can use it to talk, to communicate with each other. Yes, that's my imagination.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, actually, so such kind of technology is developing, and also in the hospital or so clinical situation. So through this devices, so we can detect the patient, the pain, the feeling of pain.
Okay, the pain.
Yeah, pain or some fear.
Feelings.
Yes, so it can be used so diagnosis or some treatment.
Yes.
Yes. So especially, I think it can be useful for treating some mental diseases.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes,
So,
that's very fascinating.
yes. Yeah, so
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So not only communication, but also, so you can consider the application to medical treatment. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. And any other volunteers?
how about the NCKU students? Anyone?
Yes.
Let's see. They have.
Can I speak? I'm from NCKU. I'm
yes.
Borkai.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes.
I have some software we can deliver some chips can compact all the message into a very small digits so we can send to anybody, and everyone have one chip to understand that's the compact message, so we can sort a lot of information in a short time in this full of information epic area. So it's a very condensed message by deliver to everybody, and everyone can understand that immediately. It's more about not the communication way, but the communication method. Yeah.
Yeah, especially it will help for distant communication. So between Earth to Moon, and so on. And so by using this so devices, so we can have a meeting anytime.
It's not that I have a meeting, and myself is we can like making an array of all the informations I need to deliver and use very small digit. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, maybe so we can take one more so volunteer. Yes. Mhm. 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 Uh-huh. Mhm. 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 Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, actually, so by the progress of technology, so the gap of so digital divide or so digital gap is increasing. Actually, so the smartphone is not only the communication tool, but also for the device for so daily life, like the paying tax, or buying things and so on. So digital devices sometimes is crucial for the vulnerable people. So yeah, yes. Mhm. 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 Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so it's a very important point. And so, not only considering the progress of technology, but also we have to consider the inclusiveness of the technology. It's a very important point. Yeah, thank you very much. And so, So please submit your field worksheet to Manaba or following folder. Yeah, and if you permit, so we would like to share your idea. With the classmates. Okay, if you don't like to share your idea, so please write on the worksheet. Okay, so okay, so did you get the link on QR code? For the University of Tsukuba students, so please submit the worksheet